become successful if you want it as badly as you want to breathe. And is breathing not the most important thing that we do in our life? Every single breath keeps us alive from the minute we are born to our last breath. And if you want success, make every single breath of yours count, because that breath will lead you to the point of success. There is no time wasting when we are here. You are given an opportunity. Each one of you is here because you want this opportunity. Each one of you is here because you want to find what it is inside of you. There's something burning inside of you. There's something in there. Each one of you feel it, don't you? You're destined for something better. You want something better. You want to achieve something greater. So how do we go about doing this? Every single person, you, me, Oprah, Elon Musk, whoever it is, we have the same 24 hours. Every single one of us has the same 24 hours. What are you doing with your time? That is what is going to make the difference in your life. So I want you to understand that in time, if we sleep for 8 hours, some people say sleep for 6, some sleep for 5. You know what? I say sleep for 6, but if you want to sleep 8 hours, sleep faster. Right? That's the best way to do it. But if you sleep for 8 hours in the day, and we got 24 hours in a day, leaves you with 16 hours still. You got 16 hours, of which you spend 6 hours a day in school. Right? Leaves you with 10 hours, of which we spend 2 hours of our day performing our salah and doing what we need to do. Leaves us with 8 hours. Of which we spend 2 hours a day, which is too much, by the way, on our social media and scrolling all these things. Leaves us with 6 hours. And we spend another 2 hours probably sitting on the toilet or procrastinating around and thinking how lazy we are. Leaves us with 4 hours in the day. And maybe we train, we want to do something fit, you want to become a UFC fighter, no problem. So maybe we train and we got 3 hours. And we speak with our family and friends for another hour, leaves us with 2 hours. Do you see how much time there is in the day? And you are accomplishing everything that you're doing and still saying there isn't time to find success. The problem is you just don't want it badly enough. You want to sleep more than you want to be successful. You want to socialize more than you want to be successful. You want to procrastinate more than you want to be successful. So ask yourself this, do I truly want to be successful, or am I just wishing for it? Because if you're wishing for it, it's never going to happen. It takes effort. It takes hard work. It will get you to that destination. We go our whole life looking for it. I ask you guys, what's the richest place in the world? What is the, show of hands, anyone has an idea, richest place in the world? Dubai. Luxembourg. I know you know. Anything, richest place in the world?
Kuwait.
Kuwait, one more. Saudi. The richest place in the world is none of those places. The richest place in the world is the graveyard. Because in the graveyard are ideas that were never brought to life, are books that were never written, or art that was never drawn. It was knowledge that was never shared and taken to the grave with that person. And if you were laying on your deathbed and all your ideas were around you, they tell you, we are going to die with you because you did not bring us to life. Now you want to be successful, you have to bring your ideas to life. Everybody's ideas die because of one thought. What would people say? Why bother about that if you want to be successful? I promise you, the way the world works is that if you could walk on water, people would say it's because you cannot swim. That is the only thing people would say. They will look at the negative, so you stop looking at the negative. And if you're worried about failure, so what? So what? Michael Jordan said, I failed, and I failed, and I failed, and I failed. And that's why I succeeded. And if you look at Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, he took 999 wrong tries, and then on the 1000th time, he invented the light bulb. And don't you think people laughed at him when he failed and he failed and he failed? But do you know what was his quote to everybody? He said, I now know 999 ways not to make a light bulb. We got to change our perspective. We have to look at it in a different way. And we have to understand that if the graveyard is the richest place in the world, then do we want to be in that graveyard with all our wealth inside our mind? Or do we want to share it with the world? Success is not based on money. Success is not based on that. Do you know what success is based on? Success is based that when you are in your grave, someone is standing there and they say, I am who I am because of that man or that woman over there. That is success. And we need to understand this, that we want to help. Molana and them are doing the most incredible thing here because they are helping each and every one of you. But how do we pass it forward? What do we do? There's one common thing when we go to the graveyard. The board is there. The name is there. We've seen this. There's a date that the marhum was born, and then there's the date that the marhum passed away. But in between that, there's a dash. Right now you are in your dash. Right now you are in that little line. And life goes by in a dash. And that's the truth. So stop procrastinating. Start looking for success. Start understanding what is actual success. And start benefiting those around you, because if you benefit those around you, you'll attract more people towards you. And then, instead of fame, you become popular. And you don't even need to go out looking for it, because people are drawn towards you. People want to be near you because you are changing the world. The world to you is your world around you. And if you can change your world around you, you have changed the world in your eyes. So always, always look around you to pick yourself up and to pick those around you up. Someone once told me the mind is like a garden. And when we love gardens, we want to take the weeds out. We don't want the weeds to grow. We want to plant the most beautiful trees there and the most beautiful flowers, and we want to water it. And we want to nurture it. And we want to make sure it's lush. Am I right? We want the garden to be beautiful. And what happens when a garden is beautiful? It attracts life. It attracts beauty. And in that life and beauty, there's this little caterpillar that's walking around in that garden. And that little caterpillar is in what I call the comfort zone. As he knows his food is there, he eats on a bit of the grass, he eats on a bit of the leaves. But he knows, just like you know, there's something bigger. I have a bigger purpose. I have a higher purpose than this. And that's why you guys are sitting here, because that caterpillar in your mind is telling you that. So what does the caterpillar have to do? He goes into one corner. He rolls himself up into a cocoon. It's scary, don't you think? Just imagine. Put yourself into that position right now. Just imagine how scary it is for that little caterpillar, not knowing whether a predator will come and take that cocoon away, not knowing where someone, little kid, will come and knock it off the tree and kill him, not knowing any of these things. He steps out of his comfort zone and he walks into the fear zone. And in that moment, he rolls himself up and the lights go out. Not load shedding. But it's dark and it's scary. Have you ever been in that moment when you had to stand up here now? I saw a few of you shaking. I could hear the nervousness in your voice. It was scary, right? This is a small moment. I'm talking of stepping out of it to a point where you know you're going to fail. But that failure is only going to teach you. Stepping out of that comfort zone, telling your mind, no matter what, I have to step out of it. And as he sits in this cocoon and it's dark, all of a sudden a piece breaks off and he sees the light. And he starts pushing his little head through that light. But it's hurting him. And if you were to see it, and you were to see how the cocoon was squeezing him and literally squeezing the life out of him, would you want to help him? You'd want to help him. Would you guys want to help him? Why would you want to help him? You don't want to see someone going through pain. But that's the wrong attitude. We don't have to just help someone. We have to watch them grow, be by their side. Because if it did not struggle coming out of that cocoon, the juices would not have been pressed into the wings of the butterfly. And if you had cut that cocoon open, it would have fallen to the floor, never to fly again. So there are difficult moments. And you got to push through those difficult moments. Because when you push through those difficult moments, out comes this amazing butterfly. And you guys know what's the beauty of a butterfly? Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? What is the butterfly effect?
When you change one small thing, a big thing.
Okay, it's brilliant. When a butterfly flaps its wings in the Amazon jungle, there's a little wind that's created under a butterfly's wings. And as that wind builds up, it creates a hurricane on the other end of the world. Are you that butterfly that has the ability to do one small flap of the wings that can change an entire world? And what is success? Waking up every morning asking yourself, what is my butterfly effect? What effect do I have, or what can I do that can change the world? And I'll give you an example just to make you understand the beauty of a butterfly effect. 4,000 years ago, a man and his son laid a brick in the barren deserts of Arabia. Today, millions and millions of people visit what we know as our holy Kaaba. It is the direction we face to make our salah. And you know what's the beauty of a butterfly effect with our iman combined? Is that when you do it with sincerity, it's that when you do it with that pure intention, it goes up to Allah. And when Allah loves what you do, He takes it and He sponsors it. And when Allah sponsors something, He will take it to every corner of the globe. So we need to change our intentions as well. We need to understand the importance of intentions. We need to understand that it starts with our heart creating an amazing intention, our mind creating these amazing thoughts and this ability to want to do more, not to be mediocre. It is wrong for us as Muslims, as youth, to be mediocre. Mediocrity will get you nowhere in the world today, and you guys know this. And that's why you're here. You guys know that if you are mediocre, you're not going to navigate this world, are you? Maybe 50 years ago we could have navigated the world being mediocre. Not today. Not in today's day and age. Not with everything going around. You cannot pull the wool over anybody's eyes. So what does that mean inside of you? What do you need to do? You need to believe in yourself. You need to have this power to step out of that comfort zone and go into the growth zone. How do you get into the growth zone? You walk into the fear zone. It's okay if I fail. It's okay if I do not win this one. It's okay if I learn from this lesson. It's okay if they said this about me because I know who I am. It's okay because I see my greater vision. And let's look at our beloved Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Look at his life. He had many ahadith. We know the ahadith and we hear it and we're inspired by it. But he had one motto. His motto was, I love optimism. He was the most optimistic of all human beings, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He was the most optimistic. And let me put it to you into context. His father passed away before he was born. That meant he was an orphan. And he watched his mother take her last breath when he was 6 years old. Visualize this and go into this with me. 6 years old and his mother takes his last breath, and he was given into the care of his amazing grandfather who he loved so dearly. And 2 years later, his grandfather passes away. And he was given into the care of his uncle who he loved dearly. He really loved his uncle. And as time went on, he saw his uncle pass away without iman. Can you imagine how that had hurt our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And in the same year, he loses his partner, his pillar of strength, Hazrat Khadija. In the same year that he loses his uncle, can you imagine the hurt? And he buried every single one of his children except Bibi Fatima. Every single one of his children, he put them into their qabr. Can you imagine this feeling? And he had gotten divine revelation that after he passes away, his daughter Fatima would be the first from his family to pass away. So he knew that she was going to go as well. And he saw the gruesome deaths of his grandchildren in a dream. So he'd hug them and hold them, and he'd go onto his knees and let them ride his back. And he'd hold them. And he went to Taif to spread the message. And what did they do to him there? They pelted him with stones till blood went into his shoes. They put thorns in his way and they said that he was a madman. He had seen his companions carpeted on the battlefield. Visualize this with me and understand the difficulty of what I'm saying. Can you imagine if we were just inflicted with one of these difficulties? And at the end, his feet were so sore that he could not stand to make salah. That's how sore his feet were. Yet, he said that if the day of Qiyamah the trumpet blows and you are planting a seed, continue to plant that seed. Because we are optimistic. Why should we live in a world that shows us negativity, breeds negativity, breathes negativity. Why should we allow this world to infiltrate our mind? We are positive because we understand what we are here for. We have a higher purpose. We have a much deeper presence than what we are made to believe that we have. So mediocrity in this world does not exist. And the third thing is your actions. How important are your actions when it comes to everything? Everyone can see you. You can talk to positivity. You can claim to have the intention of positivity, but if your actions are not in alignment with it, what good is that? What good is that if your actions are not in alignment with it? If you can align your head, your heart, and your hand, you are destined for success. You are destined to make every single breath count. You are destined to become the best versions of yourselves. Is everyone willing to do this? Is everyone willing to become the best versions of themselves? Can I have a show of hands? Who wants to be the best version? Who wants to be the best version? I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say, I can. I will. I must. Come on, louder. I can. I will. I must. No, I want you to really believe it, guys. I want you to dig deep. I want you to take a deep breath. And I want you in the loudest voice that you can possibly do it. I can. I will. And I must. And I know each one of you is going to go out there. And I want to share the tools with you on how to do it. The tools with you on how to believe in yourselves. I hope you're feeling inspired. I hope you're feeling motivated. I hope deep down inside there's a fire burning that says, wait a minute, that little spark is going to turn into something amazing. And I'm going to light up the world. And I'm going to believe in myself. And I want to share with you 5 methods. 5 methods on how to believe in yourself. And how to make yourself an amazing individual. And these 5 methods I want you to use every single day. I want you to use it. It sounds silly, some of them. It looks silly, some of them. But it rewires you into believing yourself. If I had to give you a high five, would that mean you did a terrible job?
No.
What would it mean?
I did a good job.
Has anyone given you a high five for doing a terrible job? Hey? Guys, has anyone given you a high five for doing a terrible job? No? Has someone given you a high five for doing a terrible job? I think they're lying to you. I don't think they want you to grow. Guys, give each other a high five. Everyone turn around. Give each other a high five. High five. I want you to feel it. Feel it. Come, you sitting all alone at the back here. Come on. High five. That's it, man. When your team scores a goal, how do you celebrate?
You go to the person that scored and everybody celebrates.
Or if you're watching it on TV and your team scores a goal, how do you do it? Hands up or hands down like this? Which one? Which one is it? Hands up, right? Hands up. When your hands go up, for a high five, for a celebration, there's an automatic connection into your nervous system that creates a celebration in your mind. Understand the science behind this, because we are not just what you see here. We're internal as well. And the dua, when looking into the mirror, has a beautiful meaning. It says, oh Allah, beautify my inside as much as you beautified my outside. And we look at the mirror sometimes and we're like, hey, I'm looking good today. But imagine if your nervous system looked good every day. And if your heartbeat looked good every day. And if your intentions looked good every day. And you're asking Allah to beautify it. So when you lift your hand up, automatically there's a connection to your nervous system that wakes you up. That says celebration. Method number 1 that I want each and every one of you to do every morning is to look into that mirror. And instead of something negative, instead of saying I'm tired, instead of just putting your head down thinking to yourself, oh God, here we go, another day. Instead of thinking about that test, instead of thinking about any of that, I want you to put your hand up. Look at yourself in the mirror. And congratulate yourself for getting out of bed, for pushing on, for doing what you're doing, for working hard, for trying, for failing, for succeeding. Whatever it is, congratulate yourself. Because every time we look at our mirror image, we think to ourselves something negative. And we stop thinking the positivity. I want to change that. I want your reflection to be the most positive image in your life. So when you look in that mirror, hands up, high five in the mirror. Please, guys, don't break the mirror. I'm going to have your parents messaging me and they're telling me that you guys broke the mirror. Please don't break the mirror. I want you to give yourself a high five. I want you to be the person that congratulates yourself the most. I want you to be that individual who picks himself up and says, you know what, even though I don't like reading, I want to read. And even though I don't like these books, I know about them. And if I know about them, means that somewhere inside of me, there is something there that's drawing me to them. Even though I don't like to do any of those things, I want to do it. Because I'm an individual who just wants to grow. So congratulations. And that is method number 1. Takes me to my second method. When a lieutenant stands in front of his soldiers and he's about to say something, what do the soldiers do? Salute, stand in attention, listening for a command. We've seen this before. We've seen soldiers do this. Your brain is your soldier and you are the lieutenant. And every time you say the words, I am, your brain stands in command, listening. What is the next word as my command? I am tired. Okay, let's go and sleep. I am exhausted. Okay. I am lazy. I am frustrated. Think about it. Every time you say these things, how many of you have gotten ill and Googled the symptoms? And how many times did the symptoms get worse just because you were reading it on Google? Why? Because you are telling your brain these things. You are telling your brain, you're feeding. Your brain doesn't know what's going on around it until you feed it. Through your eyes, through your ears, through your mouth, through your words, through your actions. Allah said in the Quran, be and it is. Allah said in the Quran, be and it is. Allah didn't think be and it is. He's teaching us. Say it. Put it out there. Let it come into reality. Let it manifest from our thoughts into our reality. Let us understand the power of our words. I am confident. I am energetic. I am intelligent. I am capable. And all of a sudden, and repeat, think of a few positive words, guys. I want you to think of a few positive words. And think of how it feels inside of you. You feel energetic. You ever walked on the soccer field and thought to yourself, or the pedal court, and you've thought, this is my day today. I'm going to have a great game. And what happens? You have a great game. You teach yourself the narrative that you want. Everyone else is not writing your story. You are writing your own story. Each one of you is writing your own story. So you walk on the rugby field and you want to be strong. And you tell yourself, I am strong. I am fast. I'm down the wing. They're not going to catch me. You tell yourself that and watch what happens. But if you tell yourself, I'm not going to make it today. Oh, that guy is so big. He's going to take. You're going to hold yourself back. And when you hold yourself back, how do we step forward into the fear zone? How do we step forward into the growth zone? So method number 2, each and every one of you, take the I am and put a positive word after it. Because the positivity of that word will determine the day that you have. Look in the mirror, congratulate yourself, say positive words to yourself. And when you say those positive words to yourself, everything starts changing. Method number 3. If you were walking through a desert today, and I gave you a bottle of water, full bottle of nice ice cold water, and I told you, you got the entire day and night in the desert with this bottle of water, how would you look after that bottle of water?
I wouldn't let anyone touch it.
You'd have a few sips if you were thirsty, just a few small sips, just to keep going. Would you drink the whole thing in one sip? If you were thirsty knowing you have the whole way to go, would you drink the entire thing in one sip? No one would. Even worse, would you throw it on the desert sand? Nothing's going to benefit of that. Absolutely nothing will benefit from that. Am I right? So we'd look after that water bottle. We'd drink a few sips every time, and we'd carry on walking. And only when we're really thirsty and we know this will nourish us, we take another small sip, and we carry on walking. Each one of you has that water bottle with you on a daily basis. And this world is your desert. That water bottle is called emotions. And when we wake up in the morning, we have an entire water bottle filled with emotions. Love, hate, anger, joy. It's all in there. It's all in there. The only difference is, love uses this much of water. One small sip to nourish you and move on. Joy uses that much of water. Another small sip to nourish you and move on. But when your mom wakes you up in the morning and you get angry, you've drank half that bottle already before you even started your journey. Now you have half a bottle left to go through the day. So you don't even have enough love to give people. You don't have enough joy to give people because you're worried about that half. And all of a sudden, a friend started something with you, or a peer started telling you something, and you felt angry inside, and you just felt these emotions. You used up another half of your bottle. And past second break, we're sitting in class falling asleep. Why? Because our bottle is empty. And then we go home and we're irritable. And we're fighting with our siblings. And we're fighting with our parents. And we're fighting with whoever. Because there's nothing left inside of us. So I want you to understand the importance of looking after your water bottle. Emotions such as jealousy, envy. We're human beings, right? We felt these emotions before. But if you let those emotions consume you, that's the equivalent of throwing that water on the floor. That's the equivalent of wasting an unnecessary amount of water on absolutely nothing. So understand that in this water bottle, we have to visualize. When you give love, take your sip. And when you're about to get angry, is it worth it? That anger is good in one case only. When you, your loved ones, or your family are in danger, and your anger has to come out to protect them, that's animal instinct. That allows us to be angry. But wasting it on unnecessary emotions, the only person who is going to damage is yourself. Because everyone else moves on with their life. Yet, you sit here with an empty water bottle and you ask yourself, why am I feeling thirsty? Why am I feeling down? So each one of you, and a lot of the guys do this, they actually take a water bottle and they keep it with them through the day. And every time they have an emotion, they drink from it just to visualize it. Use this method on a daily basis to control your emotions. Girls, use this method to control your emotions. Make yourselves understand what emotions are and how important they are to you and how important it is to keep that bottle filled. Because every night when you go to bed, that bottle fills up again. And if that bottle was halfway, it will only fill up 3/4 way because your body doesn't have enough time to regulate it. Your body needs enough energy. So can you imagine if that bottle was empty and the next day you're only given a 1/4 bottle and you have to go through that entire day again? And then you drink that, even love will take your water away. And you don't want to give love. And people ask you, where's your empathy? And people ask you, where's your sympathy? You are the head prefect. You need to know these things. You need to understand people. You need to look around you and say, this one's going through a tough time. I'll put my hand around that person and say, listen, we are here for you as a school. We are here for you as a team. That's a leader. That's a leader. A leader keeps his bottle full so that he can fill everyone else's bottles up. This is a leadership camp. This is leadership. This is what we are trying to teach, but how can you fill someone else's cup if your cup is empty? How can you be a great leader if you are empty? We've seen leaders who talk the talk, but when the time comes to be able to fill people's cups up, when that time comes, they are unable to do so. They are unable to do it. Do you guys watch soccer?
Yes.
Everyone knows Jurgen Klopp. Everyone knows him. He's retiring now from Liverpool. He's leaving Liverpool. Why? Because his cup is now empty. And he knows that when an empty cup is there, he's not going to be able to love the players the way he used to, or fill the players the way he used to. That's a leader. Knowing in the right moments to step up and knowing in the right moments to step down. That is a leader. Not for fame, not because I need the money, not because of any of that. A leader is someone who knows himself inside and out. A leader is someone who can control his emotional water bottle, which brings me on to point method number 4, the mind. All well and good to talk about emotions. All well and good to say, let's try and regulate our emotions, but it makes no sense until we understand where it's coming from. There are 2 systems in the mind. System 1 and system 2. What is the difference between the 2 systems? You guys do life sciences and you guys hear of these things. Fight, flight, or freeze. Have you heard this terminology before? System 1 is a system that runs in either fight, flight, or freeze. What it means is when the cavemen would go out to hunt, what would they do? They need to be on high alert, looking for an animal, making sure nothing's coming to harm them. So they were in system 1. They knew at any moment they had to either fight something back
take flight, run away from something if they weren't capable. And only now, recently, has the third term come, which is freeze. If someone actually holds a gun to your head and someone hijacks you, your body goes into shock mode and you freeze. It's a defense mechanism of your body that says, do not try and fight this now because your life is in danger. That is the only time we need to be in system one. Unfortunate, this world has taught us to remain in system one our whole life. Because if someone tells you something, you think he's fighting with you and that your life is in danger. And what do you need to do? You need to fight back, or you need to run away, or you need to go into this little shell and go quiet. That is where we are. System one is controlling each and every one of us. And you need to understand that we need to switch out of this fight-flight moment. Because your life is not in danger at every single moment. So why do you need to stay on high alert?
Imagine if you are driving your car to the highest possible revs, you can drive it constantly on every single gear. What will eventually happen to the motor? It will blow. The motor's gone. You might, few times it will go, and then eventually it's going to go. Something's going to break. And that's your mind. Running in system one is like redlining it all of the time. Running in system one is keeping it in that adrenaline all of the time. And system one uses up your entire water bottle. And then there's system two, what I call the parent system. So you've seen sometimes when you're throwing a bit of a tantrum and your parent tries to tell you, calm down, it's not that bad. You'll get through the exam. You'll get through this. That is what system two is. It looks at system one and it says to system one, is our life in danger? And this only generally happens after we've blown our fuse already. And then you think to yourself, hey, I didn't need to react that way. That's not what I should have done. Am I right? We've all been in that situation before. That's when system two takes over. But what if we change it around? What if we learn to run off system two all of the time? What if we understand that system two is the most optimal way that a human being should run? Think, process, and then voice. Maulana Bam, I know you guys know Maulana Bam, he said something so beautiful the other day. He said that you are the master. Who wants to be a master of something? Everyone wants to be the master. You are the master of your silence, and you are a slave of your words. Understand that speak when you're supposed to speak. Speak good things. Think, is it worth speaking? Is it going to help an individual, or is it going to hurt an individual? Is it going to warrant a thank you from the person, or is it going to warrant an apology from me? Think of these things before you speak, and this is the control between system one and system two. It was a beautiful story of a lady who was sitting by the grave of her child, and she was crying out loud. Ya Allah, why did you do this to me? Why did you take my child? She couldn't handle it. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam comes up from behind and he tells her, please, for the soul, don't cry so loud. So she doesn't turn around, she doesn't see who it is. And she's going on and she says, you don't know what I've been through. And when you get angry when someone, you have no idea, just go from here. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the immaculate man that he was, he walks away calmly, quietly. Some of us would have fought back, hey, do you know who I am? How dare you speak to me like that? No. He walked away quietly, he went home. And another Sahaba came up to her and said to her, do you know that was the Nabi of Allah? And imagine how she felt in that moment. What do you think she felt in that moment? Her heart must have sank. She must have felt so embarrassed. So what does she do? She goes to the door of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and she knocks. And as he opens, she says to him, I did not realize it was you. And you know what he says to her? He says, the reward for patience is only in the moment. After that, you have to resort to tawbah. So when you are given the opportunity to be patient, take the reward because it's only for that moment. Start looking at opportunities, difficult moments, as opportunities to get the reward for patience. Because on the day of Qiyamah, it is said that when the reward for patience is being distributed, women will wish they were in labor their entire life so that they could be patient and get that reward. So when you get that opportunity to be patient, look at it as an opportunity to get reward. Look at it as an opportunity to grow. Switch to system 2 and eliminate system 1. System 1 only needs to be activated the moment your life is in danger. So if you want to become a great individual, look at these moments, difficult moments. We've been through them. I'm sure you've had difficult moments in your life as well, where you felt this is the worst thing ever. And it passed, right? It went on. 5 years ago might have seemed difficult 5 years ago. Right now there's something else. 5 years from now there'll be something else. This is life. It is going to be difficult. But if you look at it as moments to grasp the reward of patience, if you look at it as moments that Allah is giving you an opportunity to find this reward, this beautiful reward, we might change our way that we look at things. So those are the 5 methods that I wanted to share with you, to be able to understand your mind, to be able to understand your emotions, to be able to understand all of that. But I want to end off with the final one, the final method, which is the most important. And if patience is the car, and generally with the car, where do we need to go? To a destination. Anyone have an idea what our destination is if patience is the vehicle? Hands up.
When you're being patient, it's because something's wrong. So your destination would be peace of mind, something that rewards your patience.
Lovely way of looking at it. Lovely way. I like that one. Not the one I'm looking for, but brilliant way of looking at it. If patience is the vehicle, what is the destination? The destination is gratitude. The ability to look around you and be grateful for everything that has been given to you. Big things, small things, minor things, major things. Look around you. When you find patience, you're looking for peace of mind. You want peace of mind. Peace of mind is found in contentment of the heart. When the heart is content, it has gratitude. When it has gratitude in it, is there anything higher than just being grateful for what you have? Each one of you sitting here today, have you ever had the moment where you were drinking water, and we're talking about the water bottle, so it's apt that we talk about this. You drink water and it goes down the wrong pipe. You feel like you're choking, don't you? Feel like you're choking. We've all had that moment, and your mother or father will shout at you for eating so fast or drinking so fast, and just slow down. There's a little thing here inside your throat called the epiglottis. What is the epiglottis? It's a little flap that when you're breathing, it stays open, and when you swallow, it closes. That's why you can't swallow and breathe at the same time. So when you're breathing, it's open, and the minute you swallow, whether it's your saliva or your water or your food, that flap closes, so that it does not allow anything to go down your air pipe and into your lungs. And the next time you find yourself being ungrateful for the Jordans you don't have, or for the Air Force Ones that you want, and you're throwing this tantrum about it, stop for a moment, take a sip of water, and understand that Allah has allowed your epiglottis to close, because that sip of water would have drowned you if that epiglottis did not close. That's gratitude. We've been through COVID, right? We've seen COVID. What was everyone looking for in COVID? Everyone was looking for oxygen. And we saw the price of oxygen during COVID. We saw the price of oxygen. And every human being inhales about 550 odd liters of oxygen a day. The price of oxygen was 20 rand a liter. 20 times 500, the mathematicians can tell us here. 20 times 500. Let's do the math. That's just for you alone. Okay? On a daily basis. Times 8 billion people in the world. Allah gives it to us for free. If He had stopped it for 2 minutes, this whole world would collapse and die. What is there not to be grateful for? So stop for a moment. Stop for a moment and appreciate the small things, because those things are bigger than you think. And if patience is our vehicle that takes us there, and gratitude is our destination, then the good life starts when you stop wanting a better life. Start appreciating where you are. Start working on the individual that you are. Each one of you had something brilliant in this icebreaker session that I loved. That although it was a lie, deep down inside somewhere it was a dream as well. Deep down inside somewhere it was something that you wouldn't have minded doing, otherwise it would not have come to your mind. And you know, we hear of manifestation and manifesting into reality, and your thoughts become your things, and think these things and it will come out into reality. Ask yourself a question. We are Muslim. We believe in taqdeer. We believe in the divine decree of Allah. Ask yourself a question: that did it not come to my mind because it was already predestined for me? Did it not come to my mind because Allah had already written it? Now He wants me to take action. That is how it manifests into reality. Let's just stop thinking, oh, these thoughts just magically appeared in our mind. They come there for a reason. And be cognitive of your thoughts. Understand your thoughts. Understand your dreams, your ambitions. I wish I could go back to your age and someone could come here and tell me these things. Because, like Muhammad Ali said, if you are the same person at 50 that you were at 20, you've just wasted 30 years of your life. So don't waste 30 years of your life. Take it now. Take all of this that you're giving, the amazing work that Maulana Shakir is doing, take it, use it. Use it to propel you in life so that when someone is standing at that grave, what do they say? I am who I am because of that man over there. Is that not the greatest dua that someone could make for you, that you change their life by a word of yours, by a smile of yours, by an intention of yours, by an action of yours? Is that not worth living for? Is that not success? Is that not your definition of success? And you might be quiet and you might not want to talk to the world, but an action, a smile, a helping hand with their math homework because you love math, something like that can change someone's entire trajectory of their life, all because of you. I remember the people in my life who said one or two things to me that changed my life for the good. Changed me. I was an introvert. I was like you. I could not speak. Somehow managed to be head boy of my school. Got up there. They saw some leadership quality. Someone has to see something in you to spark it in you. Maulana has seen it in all of you. The spark is there. And all of a sudden, you start gaining this confidence. All of a sudden, you start looking after yourself. You start feeling better. You go to the gym. You train. You want to become physical because physical movement is very important in terms of mental and health well-being. Physical movement is vital. You start learning the body, the mind. You start understanding it. Remember something, one of our predecessors, he had written many books of Islamic knowledge, many books of Islamic knowledge. And he was at the end of his life. And he was walking around and he had an ink pot. You know how your teacher is going to learn all those things? He had an ink pot in his hand. And as he's walking with that ink pot and the feather, someone came to him and said, Sheikh, you've written all the books already. You're at 80 years, 90 years old in your life now. You're still moving in. You know what words he told him? And I want you all to remember this. I started with knowledge and I'm going to end with knowledge. The words he said is, with the ink pot to the grave. With the ink pot to the grave. You seek knowledge from the moment you can seek it to the end. You seek knowledge that is beneficial for this world and for the year after. You understand yourself, you understand how your body works, how your mind works, and then you use it to create this fire inside of you that will generate changes in yours and everyone's life. You use these things. This is what I want you guys to do. I want you to dig deep. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to envision a world. And then I want you to open your eyes and make that world happen, guys. And I hope I've inspired you. And I hope I've helped you. And I hope one of these methods can just change a way that you see things and change a way that you are thinking and change the way of you being. Is there any questions that you guys want to ask that I can help you with? Is there anything that you want to know? You know what? I want to know about this. I'm going through this. Can you help me with this? Can you give me a tool for this? I'm here for you guys. I want you guys to ask. I want you guys to get the full benefit of this. I want you guys really to walk away from this feeling like you've gotten everything that you needed to know. And don't be shy. Any question it is, whatever it may be. And no, not how much do I bench press. Please don't ask me that question. So whatever question it is, guys, please. Sheikh, any questions? Come on, one question at least, guys.
How do you manage your day? How do you find the perfect balance?
In your day? I manage my day from salah to salah. It's the easiest way. We've been given 5 days in one day. The ability to have 5 days in one day, we already have a week when the rest of the world has had one. Finish each task from salah to salah. Remove a sin from salah to salah. And all of a sudden, you go 5 days in one day when people have 5 days in one working week. How much have you accomplished then? Set different tasks for the day. Set moments. I do the 45-15 rule. In everything that I do in my life, I do 45-15. What is 45-15? Whether it's studying, whether it's working, whatever it may be. Even in my training, I do it this way. 45 minutes of undistracted work. Phone away, and you will have those moments where you want to be distracted. I won't reply to messages. I won't do anything. 45 minutes of undistracted work, and then 15 minutes of undistracted distraction. 15 minutes of undistracted distraction. So I wanted to scroll on my phone, and I wanted to answer this message, or I wanted to watch this YouTube video, or I just wanted to lay and do nothing. I'm going to be undistracted with my distractions for 15 minutes, but then immediately when the 15 minutes is up, I start again, and I go again. And you say 45 minutes undistracted, because the man who gives you 45 minutes of undistracted work is far better than the man who gives you 8 hours of distracted work. So stay undistracted. Don't let anything distract you. Let every single thing drive you. And then when you have those 15 minutes, you can switch off. You like cricket, right? Jacques Kallis was one of the greatest cricketers this country has ever had. He had one ability. When that bowler ran up to bowl to him, he was so switched on that he could see the ball, which direction it was coming out of the bowler's hand. He knew where every single fielder was. And the minute the ball was bowled and played, he'd switch off and think of a holiday that he needed to go on, do his banking in his head, what he's going to eat tonight, and then boom, again, bowler comes up, and that ability allowed him to bat for hours and hours on end. We cannot stay fully focused all the time. Why do you think they have periods in school and give you that break in between? It's because the human brain cannot absorb all at once. So I ask you, 45 minutes of undistracted and 15 minutes of undistracted distractions. That is important. Nice question. Anyone else?
How do you commit to having gratitude while facing constant failure?
If you think that life is just about constant failure, and constant failure means that you have failed in life, then you're viewing life from a wrong point of view. What you actually want to do is understand that in the failures, you are learning ways to reach your success. So the gratitude allows you to understand that in those moments of failure, I still have so much around me. I still have all these things around me, like the epic lotus that we spoke about. These things are things to be grateful for. So it's okay if I fail in this moment. But this failure is not going to last. It's going to knock me to the ground, but it's about getting up and moving forward and moving forward and using failure as a stepping stone to success, building that bridge. So don't see failure as constant, because there's no such thing. Eventually, that failure will build a staircase to your success. Any questions, girls? Yeah? How did I go from introvert to well-renowned public speaker? Belief in myself. Looking in the mirror, telling myself, you know what? You are not what you think people think about you. There's an amazing saying, and I want you guys to follow the saying with me. It's a bit complicated. You can write it down, you can analyze it. I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. Do you get it? I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. It's a perception of a perception. So if you perceive what another individual thinks of you, you start acting in that way, thinking that this is what this man is thinking of me. In the meantime, he's not even thinking that of you. So you've created a perception in yourself of a perception of what someone else has given you. And based on that, most of us keep ourselves down here. You need to just become you, the truest version of you, digging deep within you. And then you'll be able to stand up on any stage. I was nervous. I used to be very nervous when I used to stand up on stage. Heart pounding, trying to act all confident, but no. Understand this. If you have a message, then it's okay if you're nervous. You're not worried how you look. You're not worried how you feel. You're not worried about that. You just want to change people's lives. Why? Because when they're standing at that grave, they need to say, I am who I am because of that man over there. And one day I realized that all the mess in my life, every mess in my life, whatever mess there was in my life, one day will become my message. So look at your mess and your failures as your message and your growth.